Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel, Lady T Expressions. This is my introductory video for this new channel that I just started for the TTC community. Um, and I've had this account set up for a while, but I've been kind of debating on whether I want to actually do this video or not and kind of put my business out there. And I get into a little bit of why the hesitation for this video. I have another channel here on YouTube, but it's mainly a kind of a how-to channel for, hair, stuff like that. And I just wanted to start something separate and for other reasons, because I have a family member also that subscribed to that channel, and I kind of want to keep this, well, I don't want that family member to kind of know what's going on. And it's a possibility they could find this video as well, but it's okay, because I'm not doing this channel to bash or just kind of put my business out there. But this is a channel that I wanted to start because this is the reason why I called it Lady T Expression. This is a channel, my go-to channel when I need to vent, express some things going on, and I wanted to share my story, about my infertility, and about my TTCing and all those things of that nature. But because I explained some of that to you as well, why I wanted to start this channel. And this is like my personal video diary, video vlog channel, when I need to kind of vent, because here I really don't have anybody that I can actually talk to about these things, because of lack of understanding. And people tell you that they understand, but they really don't. And unless they actually going through these type of things themselves, they just really don't understand. And because they say they let some of the dumbest things come out of their mouth and not thinking about how it affects you, especially if I would have children and you trying to come to them and express how you feeling, and you have a bad day, and I'm like, and they'll say things like, well, you can have my children, you can take them all home. And I'm like, really? And I don't understand that, but I just wanted to share my story, my infertility story, with you guys. And I'm gonna try not to get all into my feelings in this video, but I did want to share with you all, share a little bit of my story. And I'm gonna try not to make this video is probably gonna end up being a 2-part video, maybe 3, I don't know, because it's a lot I have to say, and I want to get it all out there, and I may not get it all out on one video. So I'm gonna start with my journey, a little bit about my past history of my health and what led to my infertility and me trying to TTC right now. I've been in a relationship with a guy now for we just hit the 8-year mark, and it's going on 8 years strong, and 8 years and nothing. And that's not to discourage anybody, but I want to share some of my frustrations and some of the things. I've watched a lot of you guys videos on here, and a lot of your videos has left me with some hope. And I'm 33 years old. So there's another reason I get a little discouraged because of my age, and I'm like, I'm not getting any younger, and it's just not happening to me. But anyway, to start, give you a little bit about the history. Let me start. I started my cycle at the young, tender age of 10 years old. That moment that I started my cycle at 10 years old, I had very irregular periods. And it wasn't the fact that I had trouble or my periods were not coming, but they were coming, but they were prolonged periods. My periods lasted when I very first started, and I mean, you can imagine going through something like this at the tender age of 10 years old, and you don't really know what's going on. But I just know that I bled, and my period lasted. I bled, I know, almost and this is no exaggeration, none whatsoever. My period lasted for about I want to say about 2.5 months. And this is not stop and go, stop and go. This was a continuous flow. And it was not little spotting, a little bit of this. It was a continuous flow. I used the phrase that I flooded like a river. That's how my periods flowed at this. I'm 10 years old, and I'm like, Mama, I don't know what's going on. And to her, it was something that was normal because she was the same way. She didn't start. I don't think she started her period as young as I was, but it was something, I guess, that passed along from her to me. So she thought that it'll fix itself. You're just getting started, and it'll fix itself. So it was that way. I bled for like 3 months, 10 years old, and then once it went off, it stayed gone for a little while, and then it would come back, and then I would be long again. And so 10 years old, when she finally did take me to the doctor, because it just wasn't getting itself together, I was put on birth control pills to try to regulate my period. The birth control pills just was not working for me at such a young age. They were too strong, and I was 10 years old. Can you imagine 10 years old, you're in the 4th or 5th grade, and you're having to pack pads in your book bag, and was trying not to be seen. You're trying to hide it. You didn't want anybody to know. And the way that I flooded, I always had accidents because I'm 10 years old, so I'm still learning how to take care of myself, how to tend to these things, and how, 10 years old, you're learning. And it was an embarrassing thing for me because there were a lot of times I had to call my mom while I was at school to come pick me up because my clothes had gotten messed up because, I was flooded so heavy. And but it was thing anyway. I'm trying to make a long story short. I was put on birth control pills. Y'all excuse my raggedy hair. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to give myself a relaxer. So, but anyway, I was put on birth control, and the birth control pills were too strong for me. So they couldn't get them. They couldn't stay in my system. I was throwing them up. I would take them first thing in the morning before I went to school. And most of the time, my mom got called from work every day to come pick me up because I was throwing them up. So they had tried to reduce my strength, and they had a hard time of trying to find a birth control that would agree with me to get these things regulated. And long story short, after I bleeding like that for so long, 6th grade, I'm guessing that's around about 11, 12 years old. I bled for so long until I had to have an emergency blood transfusion. And so from 6 years old up until about the age of 33 now, 3 years ago, I'm just going to say 3 years ago, my period had been irregular. They were coming, but they were either drawn out long periods, meaning longer than 7 days. I can say I stopped having very long periods. Probably around, I guess when I got around about high school. They were still long, but they wasn't months long periods. In other words, I would probably for like 2 weeks or some of that nature. But so long story short, I was on and off birth control up until 2008, shall I say. So when me and my boyfriend got together, I was on and off birth control with him then. Probably, I think, like the first 2 years of our relationship, I was on and off because my period was still kind of doing its own thing. And they were kind of long. They were, but not nothing really, really long. They were bleeding 2 weeks, maybe the longest. And I believe me being on it, I've tried, I've been on every kind of birth control that you can imagine that's out there, except for this new stuff that they come out with now recently, like the patches and stuff like that. I hadn't tried it, I went on those, but just about any kind of birth control brand that you could think of, I've been on it. I've been on the depot shots. At one point, when the Mirena first came out, they wanted to give me that, and I believe being on that birth control for such a prolonged time, from the young tender age of 10 years old up until 28, 29, somewhere in there, I believe that kind of it can, I'm not going to say it will cause some damage to your female organs. And so I believe that had a lot to do with it also. But anywho, my frustration comes in at, like I said, me and my boyfriend, we've been together now 8 years. We just hit the 8-year mark, the end of May. And I'm not going to just point blank say that we have been TTCing, but I can honestly say in the course of the 8 years that we've been together, we have not been using any form of birth control, any form of condoms, anything. No, I look at myself as a walking human birth control. I wanted to start this channel, like I said, to vent, because growing up in a family that I grew up in, I'm a PK kid. I've been born and raised in church all my life, so you can imagine my dilemma. But I'm a PK's kid. My mom and my dad both are preachers. So I really, like I said, I don't have anybody to really talk to about this matter, because I'm a PK kid. Mom and dad, to actually go to them and tell them I really want a baby and I'm really trying. Me not having a baby is determining a lot of factors in the direction of where I want my life to go. Being a PK kid, it limits my capability of being able to talk to my mother about the situation, because she sees it as, why are you even trying to have a baby and you're not married? But little does she know, I honestly feel like me not being able to have children will determine if I want to get married or not. I feel like if I can't have any kids, I really don't want to have. I don't want to get married. Why? Because, to be honest with you, my partner wants a child. But I don't want to be that person to take that from him. I don't want to drag him into a relationship, or not a relationship, drag him into a marriage or pressure him into marriage, and I can't give him what he wants. I don't want to take that right from him. I don't want to waste his time. I don't want my time wasted as well. But at the same time, we have such a great love for each other that, he's sticking out. He gets kind of wishy-washy sometimes. Sometimes he'll say he has a son already. He has a 7-year-old son, and I've been in his life since he was born. He'll be 8 in September. So yes, he had a child. I met him. He was 6 months old when I met him. And he'll say, I don't want any more. And then he'll flip-flop and say something else, And I think he says things, to try to take the pressure off of me, or to try to make me feel better by saying he don't want any. But in deep down, I know he does. But it's a tough, sticky situation, because I haven't, like I said, being a PK kid and don't really have anybody to vent to. I have a sister. Everybody in my family has children except for me. I have a sister who's 9.5 years older than me. She has 3 sons, and I have a brother who's 6 years older than me. So yes, I'm the baby who has 3 kids of his own as well. But it gets hard, because I really don't have anybody that I can really just sit down and cry on their shoulders. There are many nights, and this the older I get, the more it started to bother me. Back when I was 25 and in my 20s, I really didn't worry about it too much because I felt like it happened when it happened. But now I'm 33 years old. I don't know. I set my goal to say, well, if it don't happen by the time I'm 35, I really don't want any after 35. And the reason being is because when I have a baby, I want to be a young mother. I don't want to be what, quote unquote, a old mother having a child. I want to be a young mother where I can enjoy my baby and not too old to enjoy my child. And so I'm feeling that pressure because I'm like, okay, you got 2 years left. What are you going to do if it don't happen in 2 years? And at one point I got to the point where I wanted to, okay, I'm working on 15 minutes already in this video. I'm going to cut it and then I'll do a part 2. I guess once I make it to 20 minutes, I guess. But anyway, I got to the point where I did not, well, I feel like I just need to bury this dream and just forget it. Don't worry about it. I went through the process, a cleansing process, and I just let myself cry and I let myself grieve about the situation, and that's okay. I felt like when I'm going through it, I feel like I was the only one in America. I feel like in my town, I feel like I'm the only person, and I know I'm not, but that's just how things play out. I felt like that I was the only person that don't have any children. I feel like I'm the only one. People just all around me are getting pregnant. Everybody around me everybody in my family has kids. Everybody that I know, everybody that I've went to school with, past, present, future, whatever, have kids except for me. And this is the kicker here. My nieces and nephews are growing up having babies before me. That's what really hurt me the most. I'm saying, I watched my nieces and nephew grow up. I have a niece who's 21. She's had 2 babies. And I have a nephew who's just turned 20 who has a baby on the way. And they all got children before me. I watched y'all grow up to have a baby before me. Y'all supposed to grow up to watch me have a baby and have y'all some cousins to play with. Instead, I'm just going to be an aunt and never nobody's mother. So it gets hurt. I don't know. It hurts. It really does. And there were times that I thought about the option of, well, just adopt, but I don't think I even can or want to do that. Adopt. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Why is it started blinking on and off? I'm doing this on my webcam. So, we'll see how this turns out in the end. But, I just felt like I was alone. I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have anybody because, like I said, being a PK kid, and this is not to bash my family because, being raised in church. It's not to do that at all. But it's just that they don't understand where I'm coming from because all they can think of is the religious side of it by saying, why are you trying to have a baby? You're not married. You're not supposed to have any children before you're married. And little do they know, this me not being able to have kids is determining even if I want to get married or not, or if I will get married or not. This is something that even if I was going into a new relationship, it has to be discussed up front. Hey, I don't know if I can have you children or not. This is, that's up to you to decide. But I don't want to be that woman to take away that man's option to have children or not if he wants to have a family. So if having a family is something you want to have, then being with me, I'm not the girl you need. See, my camera just went out then, and I don't know what's going on with that. And then being involved with me is not what you want. I'm going to stop right here, and then I'll pick up in a part 2 because this video is already going to be long enough. And then I'll continue the conversation in the next video. So then I'll talk to you later. Bye.